Hi, I'm Lauren Marples and I'm excited to guide you through today's flow. So we're just going to start in a seated position. You might like to have a block or two close by, maybe a strap as well. It might come in handy later on. These are not necessary, but they might be helpful, especially if you like to use props. And maybe a blanket underneath your knees, particularly if you're working on or practicing on a hard floor today, and maybe a cushion for right now in your seated position. So from our seated position, just closing down the eyes or looking straight ahead, finding a drishti to focus on, your focused gaze. Roll back your shoulders, bringing them away from your ears, and just sitting up nice and tall. So have your heart space elevated towards the sky. Placing your hands somewhere on your legs, palms down, grounding your energy, palms up, inviting energy in. So just depending what your energy levels are today. And we'll stay here for a few moments. So breathing in through the nose, filling up your belly, filling up your lungs. And then on your exhalation, allow your tummy to come back towards your spine. Deep, long breath in through your nose. Tummy comes away from your spine. And then exhale, release the breath out. With that exhalation, allow the rest of your body to come down towards the ground. Let's do two more. Inhale. And exhale. With that exhalation, bring a little bit more relaxation through your facial muscles, through your arms, through your legs. Last one together. Deep, long breath in. And exhale, release the breath out. Bringing your hands in front of your heart space, thumbs against your chest. Let's think about an intention. So is there a word or a sentence that you'd like to bring into your mind right now? This is your intention for today's practice. Your why for being here. Your why for deciding to show up and practice today. For moving your body, for breathing, for connecting everything together. So what is your why? How would you like to feel? What is your reason for being on your mat? So allowing it to circulate for a few moments. And then take a deep breath in. Bring your chin down towards your hands. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for deciding to be here, for showing up for yourself, for this practice, for this self-love, self-care practice. It's just you, your body, your breath, your mind, your mat. Nothing else matters for now. And then starting to blink your eyes open. Taking a moment to adjust to the light again. And then when you're ready to, raise your gaze. Perfect. So just placing your hands on your legs, we're going to start with some circles in our thoracic spine area. So just some small, subtle movements. As you inhale, bring your heart space forward. And as you exhale, bring the heart space back. So middle back comes backwards. So really small cat-cows. Inhale, heart space comes forward. And then exhale, bring it back. Inhale, forward. And we want to bring the bend into our middle back body, our thoracic spine. Exhale, bring it back. Let's go one more time. Inhale, forward. And exhale, back. Inhale, back to neutral spine. From here, we're just going to start to lean over towards the left side. So imagine that you're putting your elbow on rest, the sofa rest, arm rest of your chair. You're leaning over, just going to the limit. And then inhale, coming back to center. And then we'll go towards the opposite side. So same thing as before. You don't need to put your elbow up. If you don't want to, you can keep the hand on the leg. But just get to give you that kind of visualization in your head to the action that we're taking here. So inhale back to center. Exhale towards the left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale left. Inhale center, exhale right. So the rest of the body stays still. It's just this area here that's moving. Inhale back to center. And then we're going to join all of those motions together. So we'll take some circles. Inhale as we come back to center, come forward. And then exhale towards the left side. Inhale back. And exhale right. Inhale forward. Exhale left. Inhale back. Exhale right. Keep going. If you'd like to make it a little bit more smooth now, your circles, you can. Just noticing if any other movements are taking place in your arms and your legs. So really trying to isolate our back body. So if you feel like it, making it a little bit more circular. You can also take your hands off your legs, and this will give you an idea if you're really moving your arms as well, or moving your legs. Well done. So this is a lovely warm up for our thoracic spine as we get into our back bends and as we focus on that area of the body today. Perfect. So let's go around in the other direction. So if you want to, you can do that kind of jagged movement or disconnected movement first. Well done. And then maybe making it a little bit more smooth. So as you can see, or as you might be able to feel, it's really just focus. So your brain is kind of figuring out what's happening here as well. Because a lot of the rest of the body wants to get involved. For me anyway, that's how I feel. My shoulders want to get involved, my hands want to get involved, my legs want to get involved. But I really just want to focus on my thoracic spine today. Well done. Let's go one more time. Perfect. And then back to center. Take your hands up overhead. Press your palms together. You can interlace your fingers and have your index finger towards the sky if you like. Take a deep breath in, lift up, and then on your exhalation, leaning over towards the left side. Have your right shoulder pull back. Maybe you're looking up towards the sky. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right. Keep your left knee down towards the ground. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. Exhale, left. Let's go one more time to even it out. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Draw the hands down, shoulders back. Feel free to stay here if you wish. So breathing here. Or if you wish, you can also come into a fold. So you're bringing your arms up overhead. If you choose to stay here, bring your hands away from your lower back area. Perfect. So breathing in. If you're folding, we're folding now. Bringing your tummy down towards the ground. Maybe your forehead down towards the ground. Your arms up overhead. Your forehead can come onto your mat or onto the ground, or you can bring it onto your block if you prefer as well. Try and keep your sit bones on the ground. So particularly if you're on a cushion, take the cushion away if you feel like it's pushing you forward. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. You can have your palms together or palms apart. Tuck your chin in right in towards your chest. So we relax into that area of the neck and shoulders. And then starting to bring your hands back to your lower back. And if you came down into your fold, you're coming into your seated position once again. All right. So from here, just shake out the arms a little bit. We'll come onto our hands and knees. And then just coming to sit on your heels. So we'll bring our tummy down towards our thighs, finding a child's pose, walking your hands out in front of you, maybe resting your forehead down towards the ground. So we'll breathe here a couple of times. Allowing everything to settle down towards the ground. At any point during today's practice, if you'd like to take a child's pose, come into it for whatever reason. Maybe you have an injury. Maybe a pose doesn't feel good in your body, or a transition doesn't feel good in your body. Just taking your time. Maybe you'd like to find your breath, or take a little moment to yourself. For any reason, come into child's pose. It's all good. All right. So from here, we're going to keep the right hand where it is. Take your left hand onto your left heel. And then we're coming into dynamic camel, or sweeping camel, it can be called as well. So from here, you can walk your right hand. You're going to pick your heart space, pick your head off the ground. Right hand comes over towards the left side. And on our inhalation, we're starting to lift ourselves up and push our hips forward. And as we do this, bring the right hand up. You can also bring it forward or up overhead. So if you need a bit more space for your back, bring the knees a little bit further apart. Exhale, come back down. So making any adjustments that you need to. Right hand comes over towards the right heel. And then we sweep that left hand up and over as we push our hips forward. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, swap sides. Squeeze the glutes as you push the hips forward. And exhale, come back down. Let's go a few more times. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Well done. Breathe out. 2 more. Inhale back up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, come down. Last one. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, come down. Take yourself into tabletop position. Bring your hands a little bit further forward. And then we're coming into our puppy pose or melting heart pose. So bringing your elbows down towards the ground and you're melting your heart down towards the floor as well. So you might like to take your forehead on the ground. You might like to take your chin on the ground. Just have your lower body in that tabletop shape. So your hips more or less over your knees. And if you need a bit more space for your shoulders, you can take the arms a little bit further away from each other or maybe a little bit further forward. So deep breath in. Slow breath out as we release our heart space down towards the ground. So we can use our breath to help us. Exhalation for softening, relaxing, maybe deepening the posture. Inhales for creating space, maybe more length as we walk our hands forward a little bit more. 2 more here. Last one. And then look forward, come up onto your elbows, and then find your way back into your tabletop position with your hands underneath your shoulders. So round the spine from here, exhale. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale back to neutral tabletop position. And then exhale here for a moment. Inhale, right hand sweeps towards the sky. Look up towards the right thumb. And then exhale, thread the needle. Bring it underneath your left arm, your left knee. And bring the right shoulder down. So you can look towards that right thumb. Feel free to keep your hand where it was, or you can walk it in front of you, or you're bringing it behind your back, resting it on your lower spine, or looking for the top of your right thigh. Pull your left shoulder up towards the sky and then back in the direction of the right side of your mat. So this is a twist. We're reaching our right hand towards the left side of us, and we pull our left shoulder back behind us. Well done. Last breath here. Return your left hand to where it was originally. Inhale, right hand sweeps back up towards the sky. And then exhale, release it back down. Inhale, left hand comes up. Open up your wing. And then exhale, bring it, thread the needle, left shoulder drops down, head drops down. So you can bring your head onto a block or your shoulder onto a block if it's more comfortable. Push your right hand into the ground, send your right shoulder towards the left side of your mat, back behind you. And then take your variation with your hand that you prefer. Maybe it comes behind the back. Maybe it comes forward. Maybe it stays where it is. Right shoulder pulls back, look towards that left thumb. This is your drishti here. Or you might even prefer to look up towards the sky. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths. Keep thinking about your twist. How can your shoulders help you in your twist? How can your breath help you in your twist? Well done. Right hand returns to where it was. And then inhale, left hand comes up back towards the sky. Exhale, drop it down. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, find your way back into child's pose. On our next inhalation, we're going to come up into our tabletop position. And then this time on our exhalation, drop your tummy down. Arch the back. Let's take 2 breaths here in our cow pose. So we pull our heart space forward, we pull our shoulders back. So imagine that there's a string pulling your heart space towards the front of your mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the breath out. Last breath like this. Exhale, release the breath out. Take a breath in, coming into neutral spine. Take a breath out, making your way back into child's pose. Inhale, coming back into tabletop position. And then exhale, walk your hands a little bit more forward to the front of your mat. On your inhalation, we're coming into cobra. So we bring our hips down towards the ground. You can take your feet a little bit wider if you'd like to. You can drop all the way down first if you'd like. So you might like or prefer a baby cobra. Maybe you're taking more of an extended cobra. You might even prefer to take a sphinx pose. So bringing your forearms onto the ground. And we pull our hands back towards us and our heart space forward. So once again, staying here for a couple of breaths. So again, with that string visualization, that string is pulling our heart space forward. So it might be attached to your heart space, it might be attached around your waist, and it's just bringing you towards the front of your mat. So again, in that thoracic spine area, so the part of our spine that loves to bend, and then it takes any of the bend out of our lower back area. So if you feel that you're lifted quite high and the focus is coming into your lower back, just bring yourself down a little bit more, bend your elbows, hug your shoulders back, bring your elbows in towards you. Well done. All right, let's move our way back into tabletop position. So inhale back to tabletop, and then exhale for child's pose. So we've got one more thing to add onto this. This time we're bringing our heels, right now they're glued to the back of our legs or the back of our hips. We want to keep them there as we move into tabletop position this time. So we keep our knees bent. Inhale, coming forward. Heels stay close to our the back of our legs. Exhale, walk your hands forward. And then option to take your cow pose here. So you might have your hands a little bit closer towards you. Or if you prefer, you can come down into your cobra pose. So this would be our king cobra pose or king cobra variation. So you're bringing your hips down towards the ground. You might like to have your hands on the floor. You might like to have your elbows on the floor. We bring our knees a little bit wider, feet together. Press your heels towards your back of your legs, and our heart space comes towards the front. You might even like to look up towards the sky or look back towards the direction of our feet. So really paying particular attention to where that bend is coming into. This is quite a deep back bend, and often when we push and we try to look back towards the feet, or when we bring our feet towards the back of our head, we push too much and we're bringing the bend into our lower back instead. So we still want to keep our thoracic spine really taking the motion or taking this bend. One more breath here. And then let's start to come back up. So tabletop position with your knees bent. And then bringing the feet back down, finding your child's pose. Well done. Take a couple of breaths here. You might like to take your hands back behind you towards your heels instead if you prefer. All right, so from here, take your tabletop once again. Inhale to come up, and then exhale for downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs, bending one knee at a time, looking back towards the feet. Maybe moving your hips from side to side a little bit. Push your mat forward, so palms on the mat. Push your mat away from your feet. Bringing your tummy and your chest towards the tops of your legs. Perfect. From here, walking back into a forward fold towards the back of your mat. So walk your hands back towards the feet. Once you arrive at the back of your mat, taking a nice bend in your knees, bring your tummy towards the tops of your legs. Looking down, you might like to move your hips a little bit here, coming into a really loose, relaxed, and wiggly ragdoll or forward fold. Same thing with your head, just making sure it's nice and loosey-goosey. You might like to nod your head or shake your head. Well done. All right, so we're securing our feet into the ground, we're pressing them down, and then just like a flower is coming up out of the soil, we're also starting to come towards the light as we come into our standing Tadasana at the back end of our mat. Perfect. So from here, just taking your hands up towards the sky. So we're going to do those leans or side bends like we did in our seated posture. So hands come up overhead. You might like to point your index finger towards the sky as you clasp the rest of your fingers. Deep breath in as we stand up nice and tall. Press your hips forward, and then exhale, lean over towards the right side. Inhale back to center. Exhale left. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, walk forward into plank. And then exhale, take your Chaturanga Dandasana or come all the way towards the floor. Untuck your toes. Inhale, find your back bend of choice. So baby cobra, extended cobra, or upward facing dog. And then on your exhalation, finding downward facing dog. Readjust your feet maybe. Walk a little bit more forward. Bend your knees. Push your hips up and back. Push your mat away. Looking back towards the toes or up towards the knees. Perfect. One more breath here. And then inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Reach it right up as high as you can. Stay here for another breath. Really try and engage into that leg, reach it away. One more inhalation. On our exhalation, we're bending our knee, bringing it towards our nose, look towards the knee. And then we look forward, step the right foot forward, dropping our left knee towards the ground. Finding our low lunge here. So you can tuck or untuck the back toes. Inhale, reaching the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, just sinking down through the hips here. So same thing as before, interlace the fingers, index finger pointing up. Deep breath in as we reach up towards the sky. Deep breath out, lean over towards the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left. One more time in each direction. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers here. Inhale as we draw the hands down, shoulders back. Option to stay here, or maybe you're taking it into a little bit more of a back bend, so you're bringing your hands down the legs and your heart space towards the sky. Shoulders back, heart space up. Let's take 2 breaths here. Keep pressing your hips down towards your right heel. You can look up or look forward, whatever you prefer. I quite like to look forward for the majority of my back bends, unless I'm dropping back, because we want to keep the center of gravity in our abdominal muscles to help us keep that strength there, so we're not dumping into any undesired spinal areas like our lower back. So we look forward, we lift our heart space up. Perfect. And then let's come back to our neutral spine. Well done. Take your hands up towards the sky, tuck your back toes, and then press through the feet, come into your high lunge. Exhale, sink down and through your hips here. Let's do those poses or those variations with our hands on this in this high lunge. So interlace the fingers, index finger up, deep breath in, and then exhale, lean towards the right. So we're really just building a lot of strength here. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left. Look for your drishti. Well done. One more time. Inhale, back to center. Find your balance. Exhale, right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands back behind you. Inhale, draw the hands down towards your back heel. Shoulders back. Again, maybe staying here with a neutral-ish spine. It's still a little bit of a back bend. Or you're bringing your hands, walking them down the back leg, lifting your heart space towards the sky, finding your balance here. Keep bending into that right knee. Heart space towards the ceiling. Well done. One more inhalation. And then neutral spine on your exhalation. Drop your hands down towards the ground. Kick your right leg back up into 3-legged dog. And then walk towards the back of your mat with your hands. So we're going to keep that right leg lifted, finding our standing split at the back of our mat. Folding over that left leg, reaching the right leg up towards the sky. You might like to take it into a little bit more of a balance. Maybe you're taking one hand off the mat and onto your standing leg. Maybe you're taking the other hand off the mat and onto your standing leg. Well done. Keep that right leg right up towards the sky. Keep focusing on that drishti. Well done. One more inhalation. And then exhale, right foot comes back towards the ground next to your left as we fold forward with bent knees over the legs. Perfect. Inhale, we're starting to come up into our standing Tadasana at the back of our mat. So nice and slowly, head is coming last. Roll the shoulders back, press your hips forward. So feet together or feet hip width distance apart, it's up to you. We'll do those poses on the other side. Inhale, take the hands towards the sky, interlace your fingers. Exhale, lean towards the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, fold. Inhale, walk forward into plank. And then exhale, come into your Chaturanga Dandasana or all the way to the floor, taking your back bend on your next inhalation. And then downward dog on your next exhalation. Readjust the feet. Let's stay here for 1 or 2 breaths. Push the mat forward. Bend your knees. Look back towards the feet. Push your hips up and back. Left side downward dog. So lifting our left leg up towards the sky on our breath in. Taking one more breath in here. Exhale, knee towards the nose. Look forward, step the left foot forward. Drop the right knee towards the ground. Untuck your back toes. Inhale, hands towards the sky. Exhale, sink down through your hips. Interlace your hands. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, lean towards the left. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, lean right. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, lean right, left. Last one, inhale back to center. Exhale, lean right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release the hands, bring them behind your back. Interlace your hands here. And then inhale, pull them down towards your back heel or towards the back of your mat. So staying here, or maybe you're walking your hands down the back leg. Heart space towards the sky. Look in front of you, bring your shoulders back. Find your drishti here. Have the bend in your middle back. Well done. So when we lift our heart space up, we create more space in the front of our body, which is opening up into our back body as well. Let's come out of it. If you're in your back bend, come into your neutral spine and then tuck your back toes. Inhale, hands lift. Exhale, press up, high lunge. Inhale, interlace your fingers. Exhale, lean left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lean right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lean left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lean right. Well done. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands release, come behind us. Interlace. Bring the hands down as you breathe in. Find your balance here. Stay here or find your back bend. Lift your heart space up. Shoulders back. Walk your hands down the back leg. Stay nice and strong, pushing through the feet. One more breath here. And then coming back into our neutral spine. Exhale, release the hands down. Kick your left leg towards the sky as you breathe in. Three-legged dog. Exhale, stay here. Walk your hands back to your back leg. Coming into your standing split. Keeping that left leg nice and high. Breathe in as the crown of the head drops down. Breathe out as you bring your tummy towards the top of your right leg. Once again, maybe taking your balance a little bit more. So hands come off the ground and onto your standing leg. One hand, maybe two hands. It's also not, what's the word? Obligatory. You don't need to do this. Look towards that right big toe. Well done. Last breath here. Keep your left leg kicking right up. So we're strengthening into that glute area. Well done. And then release the left foot down next to the right. Finding your forward fold. You can keep your hands on the ground or towards the ground, or you can bring them onto your back, the back of your calves. So bending your knees, tummy towards the tops of your legs, hips pressed towards the sky. Maybe you bring the weight a little bit more towards the toes. Perfect. Alrighty. So from our forward fold, we look forward, we start to walk our hands towards the front of our mat, coming into our plank. Breathing in as we walk. Breathing out as we come all the way down towards the ground. Alright, so we're just going to relax here for a moment. Take your cheek onto the ground. Take your hands back behind you towards your heels and just move your hips from side to side. So if you'd like to, you can bend your knees as well and windscreen wiper them towards the left side, towards the right side. Perfect. So from here, we're going to come into either skydiver pose or bow pose, whatever you prefer. So we've done a lot of back strengthening already. So our back is nice and warm for our bow pose. So for bow, we take our knees out a little bit towards the sides of our mat. Take your hands back towards the feet, tops of your feet or your ankles, whatever you prefer, and then bring your knees back together. So skydiver pose is bow pose, but it's an active bow pose. So rather than holding onto the feet, which is more passive, we reach towards the feet and we lift our heart space and our knees off the ground, reaching back towards them. So whatever you decide to do is perfect. So whether you're coming into your bow pose or your skydiver pose, we'll come into it now. If you're in your bow pose, you're pressing your feet into your hands. And as you apply more pressure into the feet, your heart space comes off the ground. Maybe your knees come off the ground, shoulders back. Balancing on the hip area. The breath is a little bit more shallow here, so that's normal. And you might like to look forward or look up, whatever you prefer. Press your feet into the hands. Well done. 3 more breaths. You got it. 2 more. Last one. And then release everything to the ground. We're going to roll over. So coming onto your back body, take your knees in towards your chest. Hug your shins or hug the backs of your legs as you sway from side to side, massaging into your lower back area. Perfect. So from here, just bringing your feet down towards the ground. You can bring your hands down towards the ground as well. And we bring our fingers towards our heels. So it just releases a little bit into that shoulder area. Feet pressing in the ground, coming into our bridge pose. So inhale, lift the pelvis off the floor, bringing it up towards the sky. Imagine that you've got something in between the knees that you're trying to hug and keep there. So we bring our knees towards each other, lifting our pelvis, lifting our tummy, lifting our heart space. Maybe you'd like to walk your shoulders in towards each other, giving yourself a little bit more wiggle room to press your hips towards the sky, squeeze the glutes. Well done. Last breath like this. And then lower back down. Windscreen wiping the knees from side to side. Release your shoulders, have the shoulders on the floor. Perfect. So from here, coming into an optional wheel pose, optional Chakrasana. So it's the same position, starting position as our bridge. But we take our hands onto the ground next to our ears with the fingertips pointing towards the shoulders. So if your wrists don't feel comfortable or that the palm isn't on the ground, you might like to just take a towel or some kind of piece of clothing or a blanket or even just underneath that palm so there's a little bit less of a bend to come onto and your hand feels like it's pressing into something. You can also take your blocks. I'm going to see if I can find them. You can take your blocks next to your ears as well, and the palm comes onto the blocks and your hands come off the blocks. So that's quite nice for the wrists as well. So you might like to try it that way too. And it just gives your arms a little bit more space and support when you lift up. Just have your blocks really close to your ears. So you might like to try it with your blocks first. We're going to do our Chakrasana or your bridge two more times. So you decide what you'd like to come into. You can also come into bridge first and then maybe take your hands next to your ears and see what it feels like lifting up or pressing up into your wheel pose. So let's take our bridge first. Peeling our pelvis up towards the sky. Press your feet into the ground. We did this in camel pose and in our king cobra as well. If you need more space for your hips, you're moving your knees away, so outwards, as you lift up. But then just remember to bring them back together once you arrive in your wheel pose. So you create the space, but when we open up into our hips, it just removes a little bit of the strength that the glutes need to keep us there. So keep that in mind. Maybe try it out if you'd like to. So we're in our bridge, staying in your bridge, or starting to come up onto the crown of your head perhaps, or lifting up into your wheel pose. If you're in wheel, we're pressing our feet into the ground. So we send the opening or the length into the shoulders, into the arms, just like we would in our puppy pose. We press our feet into the ground, so squeeze the glutes, lift them up towards the sky. Find that strength in them. Well done, looking down or looking back behind you. Let's stay here for 1 or 2 more breaths. Keep pressing the arms into the floor. And then slowly lowering back down. So tuck your chin in so you land on the back of your head. And then lowering back towards the ground. So that is with our block. If you wish, you can also take a strap. So with your strap, you're finding the buckle and you're taking the strap so that it's shoulder distance apart and just above the elbows. So if you'd like to, you can pause the video just to grab your strap and have it in that way. And we take the hands into that position next to your ears. So once again, you can take your hands onto your blocks as well if you wish. Pressing our feet into the ground. So don't worry if the strap is kind of on your forehead like it is for me. And then we're lifting up into our bridge pose. So same thing as we put before, we're applying that pressure, applying that strength into our glutes. And then maybe we're staying here. Maybe you'd like to push into your hands and just find that the strap really helps us with that strength. So it's keeping the elbows nice and taut, nice and secure, and we can use the strap to help us lift up as well. So once we're in that lifted position, if you come into it, press your feet into the ground, send your heart space back behind you, looking back. Perfect. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly starting to lower back down. Bring yourself onto the back of your head. Lower your hips. Release your strap if you're using one. Take your knees in towards your chest. So there's a couple of nice props, modifications or help that we can use for our wheel pose as well. So maybe you'd like to pause the video or pause the practice and just try one of those props, your block or your strap, or maybe even go without if you prefer to do it without as well. It's just nice to try the different ways that we can build strength in our wheel pose or try out different ways. So from here, taking our knees in towards our chest, hug your shins, hug your thighs in towards your tummy, and we'll just stay here for a moment, rocking from side to side. Bringing your knees out towards your armpits. Happy baby pose to finish before our Shavasana, taking our hands behind the legs or up towards the ankles or towards the sides of your feet, and just bringing your knees down towards you. You can sway from side to side here if that feels nice. Drawing the shoulders towards the ground, having your head on the floor, and just starting to cool the body down. Last 2 breaths like this. And then let's take our knees together. Feet on the floor, hands out towards the side. You can cactus the elbows or you can have them out straight. Move your hips over towards the left side, drop your knees over towards the right. Finding your spinal twist. Maybe you're taking your right hand onto the top of your left knee and just bringing it up towards your armpit. If you wish, you can also wrap your left leg around the top of your right or come into that cross-legged position if you wish. Breathing here, allowing everything to drop down towards the ground, to settle down towards the ground. Inhale back to center. Shimmy your hips over towards the right side. Bring your knees over towards the left side. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Just allowing our spine to realign with our hips, for everything to come back into place or position. That's what I like to imagine is happening here. But we're really just allowing any pressure to be released or tension, any remaining tension to release here. Inhale as we move back with the knees towards the sky, and then take your legs out towards the corners of your mouth as you start to exhale, bringing the whole weight of the body down towards the earth. Take up as much space as you need. Maybe you'd like to take a bolster or cushion underneath your knees. Maybe you'd like to take your blanket over your body. Just be as comfortable as possible. And we're dropping into this space. Shoulders down away from your ears. Feet rolled out in their natural way. Relax through your face. Maybe you can hear the birds twerping in the background. Twerping. Chirping. Or maybe you have been able to hear them. I'm practicing outside today, which is so lovely and such a treat to be able to do. I'm going to imagine that I'm in a garden or in a meadow. If you'd like to do the same, go ahead. You're in this beautiful space, green grass underneath you, blue sky overhead, sun is kissing your skin. You can hear the sounds of nature, the sounds of the birds, the sounds of the bees collecting honey from the flowers. The flowers around you are of all different colours, all different varieties. And there's nowhere to be. Nobody's looking for you. No responsibilities in this time, in this moment. This is your time, your space. And you're here to embrace it, enjoy it, surrender into your mat or your grass, whatever you're lying on. You can stay here for as long as you like, relaxing more and more. I'm so glad you joined me today. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we'll see each other again.